episode of African Echo. How are you doing today? Hope that you are good. I am good, and today's episode is coming again with another phenomenal woman. This woman, why I brought her here is because she is an amazing person. She's a self-made leader. She is making inroads in the political spheres of the country. Believe it or not, you're going to hear from her. And another thing that really said, let me bring in Lorraine, is because she has been very consistent into advocating for children's rights, for also education rights. So those are main reasons, and mostly because our country has a vast information and so many details that comes with that. So we are today going to be looking into that conversation, and today I'm joined by Lorraine Bernardo. She is the founder of Organic Humanity movement, and she's also founded hashtag Leave Our Children. That was another amazing organization that you started. But let me welcome you. How are you doing today, Lauren?
Thank you, Portia. I'm doing very well and very excited about all the things we can share with everybody.
I am so excited to have you in the studio, simply because we come very far. I mean, 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Originally in 2016. Oh, yes. It must have been a bit later than that.
Yes, it must have been yes.
Leave Our Kids Alone was started in 2018. I know we had quite a few discussions around that. And then the elections was the last time. The 2024 elections was the last time we had a chat.
Yes, we had a chat.
Yes.
And today we are revisiting these because you are one of the phenomenal women that I've met and I bumped to. And I think you have so much that you can share with us. You were in politics. Not only just that, but also you are advocating for a very, very good cause and a very imperative, informative one when you talk about our kids' futures, the education and the rise thereof. Let's start right there. The hashtag Leave Our Kids and the impacts that it has made. Can you maybe just unpack for us how far you've come with that one?
Yes, that was so unexpected. It was in 2018 when the government wanted to introduce comprehensive sexuality education into schools. Now, this isn't your normal sex ed that we had in high school. This is something that will be introduced or has been introduced from grade 4. But not only that, it's not like it's a government idea. It comes from UNESCO.
Right.
And that is one of the biggest problems. UNESCO, which has sponsored, among many others, Bill Gates, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And I believe it is a tool used to completely break down the self-esteem of our youth and completely confuse them. So hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone was started in complete opposition to that. And I started a Facebook group. My children were in a public school at the time.
Right.
I homeschool them now, but they were in a public school.
Okay.
And I thought, there's no ways. My grade 4 and grade 5 at the time is going to learn this nonsense, absolute nonsense, because it's not age appropriate, no matter what the government has said in the past, no matter what UNESCO says.
You're talking to a 9-year-old at least.
You're talking to a mixed class of boys and girls where bullying's taking place, and we know schools don't deal with bullying. We're talking to a mixed class of boys and girls whose parents might be abusing them at home, so you don't know what trauma is going to come up. And the school is very graphic about the CSE is very graphic with how they try to inform children about all the sexual dangers that occur. I know in grade 5, my boy was in grade 5, one of the scripted lesson plans. So the government put all the scripted lesson plans on their website so parents could go look at it.
Okay.
They were hoping that this would calm the parents down. Did the opposite.
It's did.
So our Facebook group grew to about 100,000 in 4 weeks. And then it continued to grow after that. We still have the group active. It's 130,000, a little bit more than 130,000. And we just try to bring to light all the horrible things that are happening in the school system right now. And we try and encourage parents to get involved with their school governing bodies.
And I can imagine, as a parent myself, some of other parents will say, but Mon, there's HIV, there's many other forms that happen or to take place. So why not just educate the kids of 1, 2, and 3? The critics, how do you deal with that?
Well, luckily, the beautiful thing about how fast our group grew, it showed to me that no matter what our differences are religiously or whatever, it shows that we're still a very conservative, family value-based society here in South Africa, and that is our strength. That's one thing we can unite behind. And there were obviously critics, and that's one of the reasons we made the group private, is because a lot of our most active members on the group were, I suppose, targets of online harassment from people who were critics. And unfortunately, the way I see it, sorry for the government, but parents have the final say. It's up to parents to decide what to teach their children and when to teach their children. It's not something that should be handled at school. Now, what the government has done is they've gone and said, okay, but not all parents are teaching their children. Some parents are ignorant. Some parents are plain abusive. Well, I say, rather direct funds, and now remember the government got, I stand to be corrected, 4 billion rand to implement CSE. Rather use funds to dedicate more social workers to different grades in the school. Rather dedicate funds for that, for social services. You can't have the education department fix social issues. Now, when it comes to parental rights, I believe personally, as a parent of 4 children myself, one of my primary responsibilities is to protect the innocence of my children.
True.
And we're living in a society where that's very difficult. So I decided to homeschool my children after this whole debacle.
That was going to be my question, whether that's really made you to decide to homeschool your kids.
It's more than the curriculum. I believe I could have probably overcome the curriculum with having conversations with my children myself.
Right.
However, we're living in a society where parents just hand technology to their children from as young as long as they're old enough to hold the phone. They have access to technology, and some parents are very liberal in making sure that the kids have data and can access basically anything. There's a very scary statistic. I think it was a News 24 article that said that half of South African children have been exposed to pornography, and 10% watch it regularly. This is from the ages 9 to 17. And that is a tragedy. So it's not about the curriculum anymore. It's about
Parenting
your children
as well.
interacting with other kids that have been exposed to everything. And the final straw on the camel's back is when I spoke to a social worker who told me what's going on in schools with children, the cases that they're dealing with. And even in the most affluent schools where the facilities are top-notch and they have all the activities and good teachers, it doesn't matter. The fact that kids have access to technology has completely destroyed our ability to protect our children's innocence. So I would like to suggest all parents to go and speak to your local social worker in your area and find out what's going on.
That's where you get the true reflection.
That's where you get the truth, and then you'll see the school is not a safe place for children at all anymore.
And let's get to now your current projects that you're working on, the campaign about the immunization. It's always been there, though, for us, especially in the province, as far as I remember. What is it that you want to achieve with this project?
It actually has never been compulsory.
Oh, all right.
Schools have been lying to parents.
Oh.
So up until now, because the regulations haven't been put into law yet.
Right.
So up until now, you can challenge it. I mean, a school governing body probably does have a certain say in admissions, but constitutionally, parents can challenge that. So in the past, there have been parents that have thought it is compulsory to have an up-to-date clinic card.
So too.
And it's not the case. Schools have been taking a chance. And I remember my youngest, her vaccinations, immunizations were not up to date. And it was a concern, but I went immediately to the Constitution and I looked at bodily autonomy. And that's the problem. Right now we have, and this is pointing to a problem much bigger than just immunizations and up-to-date clinic cards. So what is happening? The Minister of Education is saying a child may not set foot on school premises without an up-to-date immunization card. If the card is not up to date, then the child can seek immunizations from the actual school within like 30 days or something, but still cannot set foot on premises. And we're saying that it's absolutely unconstitutional that a state can impose what someone puts inside of their bodies or their children's bodies in order to access state services. Because where does it end? First, its children can't access the public schooling system without up-to-date immunizations. What next? Then you can't access your welfare grant without up-to-date COVID vaccinations. What next? Like, where does the government draw the line? So what I'm saying, whether you agree with immunizations or not, whether you agree with vaccinations or not, is irrelevant. This is about giving the state the power to do to us what they want versus protecting ourselves from the state. And it's a very important issue.
It's an interesting one. Did you know that you don't have to submit that immunization? Well, give us a talk. Let's talk about it. Did you know that? And which section is that one again?
It'll be in the Bill of Rights, and it's somewhere under bodily autonomy.
We really need to go there. And I think as parents, we need to educate ourselves with the constitution of our country as well.
The regulations even stipulate exactly which vaccinations. Now, some of the vaccinations that they say must take place aren't even contagious. And so we are questioning the government's motives. And we are wondering where they want to take these regulations next. And I just need to add, with comprehensive sexuality education, huge fight. That was when Angie Motshekga was the Minister of Department of Basic Education, and she is obviously from the ANC. Now we have a minister pushing these immunizations, and she's from the Democratic Alliance. So what we see here is that it doesn't matter which party is in parliament. They're all pushing an agenda that is not a South African agenda, not in the interest of South Africans at all. And so this is where we can maybe talk about OHM in that we need system change. Changing a political party who's in charge does not matter at all because the system is broken.
The system is broken. That's what Lorraine is saying if you are joining us at this moment. Lorraine, let's move to your political party. I just asked a few minutes ago, why organic humanity movements? Because I would think organic, of course, but humanity and organic, where did it really come from?
There's actually two origin stories of the name.
Right.
It started with OHM, OHM. OHM is the abbreviation for the resistance.
All
so
right.
what I wanted to do, I recognized early on because I was involved in politics since 2014 as a volunteer and then later employed. I recognized the brokenness of the system. So when I decided to quit and start my own political party, I came up first with the name OHM, signifying resistance. We are resisting the establishment and the established way of doing things. But then a little bit later, I filled in the acronym Organic Humanity Movement.
All right.
Why? Because we have lived in an industrial revolution. We went through the first, second, third industrial revolution, and we're very much in the fourth industrial revolution.
Probably even
now.
the fifth sometimes.
Very close. We're teetering on it in some avenues. And we're moving into an era, if you look at the global trends with what tech companies are doing, what billionaires are trying to promote, we're moving into a very digitized world where food will be completely synthetic. Even right now, all material is pretty much plastic. Curtains, clothing, bedding. We're moving into a world where people are discussing our future in terms of, can we upload our consciousness onto the internet, for instance? Sounds far-fetched. We're moving into an era where it's possible that systems will collapse to such a degree that all education will happen online, digitally, not even with a human teacher teaching, but with some kind of AI avatar. Music is digital, art is digital, so many things are digital. So Organic Humanity Movement is bringing us back to the fact that we are organic humans on planet Earth. We need to look after Earth's resources, and we need to create systems that uphold our natural way of being.
Right.
And we, in a sense, are rejecting this digitalization. Yes, use technology to improve, but rejecting the synthesis of humans into this digitized system.
So more like you're saying, while you are utilizing it, but we also have to remember that we are still humans.
Yes, and we need to draw some very clear lines when it comes to artificial intelligence and
Right.
the direction we are going.
Wow. Now, this one will be very fun to ask, but I'm going to ask it. The local government elections are just around the corner. Your party, is it still going to remain on the national ground, or is going to have contest on as well for councillors, mayoral? How is that looking like?
That's actually very exciting. So obviously, I mean, our mandate as Organic Humanity Movement is to change the systems in South Africa, the political system, government structure, And that can only really take place at a national level. Even changing the education system, that can only take place at national level.
Right.
So I think it's very important that voters understand the differences between national government, provincial government, and local government, and understand the differences of what they can do. So national government can't do what local can do, and local can't do what national can do. So our mandate, the main purpose of our existence is system change. That's only a national mandate. But we have decided to contest the local government elections. We are so excited about it. We want representation in council. We want our voice there while the system is what it is. But what we are going to do, our manifesto is going to be based on how we see local government should be, not what it is now. So we'll explain in our manifesto what we can do within the current framework, but the bulk of our manifesto will be, this is how local government should be. Because the way we see it is that local governments should be empowered to administer all social services, and most of the social services that national government do and provincial government should all be at a local level rather, because that ensures better accountability between voter and government, and it ensures that communities can decide how they want to be served by government and what services they get from government. So each local municipality will be different from the next.
It's very complicated as I'm listening to you right now, because when you look at the locality of our community, it's burned by, or maybe the correct word is clustered with things like corruption, unwillingness to work, Lauren. And many a times when you go even to your local government offices where you get to talk about your rates, about your utilities per month, you still get to be asked certain questions that you're thinking, how did I even get to that one? Because I'm here to pay this and that. So it's for me as a voter or as a person, I will say there's more of unwillingness to do your work. And those are the things I believe that the voters want from political parties to address, because without that willingness and without that transformation between the sectors, not much is helping, is assisting the communities per se.
Well, that's exactly why we don't believe in political parties, even though we registered as one.
Right.
So I was also, in the beginning, early days, I was stuck between whether we stay just a movement.
Okay.
And if we were just a movement, then we can consult other parties, consult unrepresented parties too.
Right.
And consult media. It'll be actually easier to reach people, because when you're not a political party, people are more open to hear what you have to say. But on the other hand, the easiest way to implement change is through the political system and through voting. And one of the main things we want to do to change the system is get rid of political parties altogether, including ourselves. So we want to implement a system where voters vote only for individuals.
Okay.
They'll vote for the president directly, they'll vote for their mayor directly, they'll vote for their councillors directly, they'll vote for their MPs directly, who will be regionally based. It's a complete new look at how we elect our leaders. We call it direct elections, directly electing our leaders. And it's the transformation we need in this country. And I can't wait for it to happen. So this is what's so weird about the 2026 elections, because in our world, there are no parties. You elect an individual who stands for something. You elect an individual who stands for the changing of the school system, for children's rights. You elect an individual who you know has shown a proven track record of success in their lives. You vote for an individual. And you can hold them accountable, and you can even vote them out. But now we're in this current system in 2026, and we want to try get a few seats across the country in local government elections. And the problem is we'll be doing it within the current system, the limitations of the current system. But that's okay, because I think our voice is so important in local municipalities, because what is happening, there's a trend across the world. Often we see problems in South Africa and we think it's the useless government, our useless parties. It's not the case. What's happening here has been happening overseas for a very long time.
Okay.
Things like increasing rates, increasing property prices. The city of Cape Town, for instance, is becoming more and more difficult for the average person to live in.
To even buy their homes. I've heard about that.
It's impossible. It's becoming a digital nomad mecca, basically. And people are being driven out of their own homes that are paid for because they cannot afford the property rates and taxes. So what we have in local municipalities are these extremely powerful governments that are just doing what they want without the consent of the voters, and that is unacceptable. So we believe that our presence in the local government elections is extremely relevant to expose that, to help people understand that they have the ultimate say when it comes to how budget is decided, when it comes to how land is zoned, how how and where property is developed. People need to become more active within their local municipalities and keep government on their toes.
Right. All right. So let's just take a short break. We'll be back with more. I'm still with Lauren Bernardo from the OHM. We're looking into the vast issues that come from local government, national government, but also we are going to be talking about a very important one, Lauren, when we come back, about the conversation we had earlier or last year about the sovereignty of the country. I think it's just come to full circle after this. But we'll be back with that.